What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Let me get to the spot. Let me get to the spot. My new spot. Oh, hey, everybody. This is Carlton Hamilton. Wait a minute. This is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. And let's get right at it. And I think you can see my little hat up there. You probably saw it in the other video. It was my birthday on November 4th. So happy birthday to me. And that is going to probably be stuck. It's going to stick around for maybe the month. We're going to kind of celebrate my birthday this whole month as I do these videos. All right. We are in volume 8 of the Leadership Principles I Learned in Prison series. All right. I don't have the list. Okay, here we go. We have gone through Be Motivated, number 1. Create competition, number 2. Seek participation and feedback, number 3. Know where they fit in, align their strengths, number 4. Number 5 is standing in statistics posted daily. Number 6 is give leaders and subordinates all the credit. Number 7 is what they do matters, basically I care communication. And now we're at number 8, which is names that identify who they are, or names identify the person. Now, this is important because when I was growing up, let's just say my childhood, all the way up until I was playing professional baseball, I had nicknames. Of course, as a kid, I got in so much trouble. I was called, within the family, I was called Rockhead. And of course, me being a lefty, when I started playing sports, I was called Lefty. Then it became Hammer, Hambone, Ham Dog. And then I get over in professional sports, again, Lefty, Hammer, Hambone, Ham Dog. Okay, so I get these nicknames. Now, if you didn't know, you know now, I spent some time in prison. So the name I had in prison was Teacher. How did I get that name? Probably just like how everyone else get the name. It was situations and different things. Now, this is what happened. I was sitting in what is called the day room. The day room is kind of a holding area as you are going from one activity to another. You come out of your cell, you go into the day room, and they make sure that they have a correct count. We got so many people here, we got so many people there. I mean, everything is just so movement controlled. So we're sitting in the day room, and we're actually coming back from the recreation. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I got to break into my voice. Eduardo Jones, aka Sinbad, God rest his soul, he passed away some years ago. Sinbad, West Side Crip, he sits down and he's looking at me because I'm sitting there. You can clearly see that I have no affiliation with anybody. So I'm sitting in my space, and I know the look that I gave everybody because I know I've probably done that before. But I'll sit in my space, and I'll sit very confidently in the space, and I probably was in this posture right here. And if you notice my eyes are scanning the area. So Sinbad comes and sits at the table right across from me. And I love this young brother for that, because Sinbad I believe he was probably 20, maybe 21 at the time. But he was so just inquisitive. And so Sinbad sits right across from me. And he gets into his voice. He's like, "What's up, cuz? You know, what you do? What you up in here for, cuz?" And I was like, "Nothing." And he said, What you do out there on the streets?" And I said, I was a teacher. I wasn't a certified teacher, but I was in the process. I was going through the classes. I was taking this, doing the student teaching, the observation, because I wanted to be a teacher. Because eventually I wanted to coach basketball, I wanted to coach baseball, and that would have been a perfect fit for me. So he's going, "Oh man, you must be messing with them little girls." And I was like, "No," because number one, as I know now, if that would have been one of my charges, I wouldn't have lasted a few days, maybe at the max a week, because then my paperwork would have caught up with me. And that's what happens to anybody who has those charges of child molestation, rape, or anything. Your paperwork will catch up with you, because everybody that comes into the system, there's always a background check. Everybody's like, "Oh, okay, what's this fool up in there for?" You can say whatever you want to say, But there's always somebody that has a connection with a guard, and then that guard will just go and look into the log and say, what is this fool up in here for? And then it'll work its way back down, and they'll double check. They'll check, and they say, are you sure? Double check on that. I think they'll do like 3 checks. They'll check, check, check. And if it all comes back, rapist, 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 or child molester, child molester, child molester, you in trouble. There's no hiding from that. So, checked out, I'm sure it checked out. And then later on when he saw me, when I ran into him again, the first words out of his mouth was, what's up, teacher, teach? And that's how I got the name. Because then nobody referred to me as inmate 121289 or inmate Hamilton or Carlton. It was always teach or teacher or teacher teach. So that's how I got the name in there. But now, this is why I say names identify. When you are dealing with somebody in prison, on the streets, or in corporate America, names are powerful. So you need to know what somebody wants to be identified as. Now, 3-hole spider, no good, midnight, chicken, do dirty, nut, Petey Wee, hitman, and there's a 88. There was a bunch of names up in there, but as you can see, pretty much none of them were very positive. So if somebody wanted me to identify them with that name, I would honor that name. But if I could have an identification with them that was more positive, I would do that. Like the creating of the basketball league names. There was a guy named No Good. He and his team, I turned his team into the Goody Mob. There was the Native Americans, and a lot of them had crazy names and all negative. And so I just called them the Warriors. Now, if you think about how do you identify a warrior? Like people will say with football, man, that dude is a warrior. That's a badge of honor. And our team, because I'm from Chicago, I was a Bulls and a Michael Jordan fan. My cellmate, Nate, who was a strong Bulls fan, and he was a Blood down there in Tucson. So our team was called Flight 23 in representation of the red of the Bulls, his love for Michael, my love for Michael, and my growing up in the Chicagoland area. So I always tried to make sure that those names reflected something very positive. Because again, it seems very, just you kind of throw it away. Somebody tell you what their name is, and then you use that name. It may be a name that they hate. They may not even like their own name. So you find out very quickly, okay, how do you want me to address you? Do you like your name? I mean, these may sound like just kind of throwaway conversations, but they're empowering, because if you're identifying with somebody that they see positivity in the name that you either given them or their parents are giving them, or they've earned this name out on the street, and it has power and it has empowerment and it inspires them, it motivates them, that's the name you better use as far as addressing them. Because with Sinbad, I knew his name was Eduardo Jones, but he said, just call me Sinbad, cuz. And I never asked him why it was, but he embraced that name, Sinbad. As a kid, I thinking back to when I was a kid, there was a show I watched called Sinbad the Sailor. So that's what I always thought. He had this magical belt. And so I would always think of that every time I saw him. But think about this. If you are addressing somebody in a very positive light, and that means that you're going to get the best out of them, you are planning your greatness. This is Plan Your Greatness, and I will say this again. Plan your greatness. And you know why? Because no one else will. I'll see y'all next time.